Alright, I bought this PS5 on my birthday on October the 24th. It is now the 11th of January, and I forgot I had it. I paid £222.22 for this, and it's got no power. Well, it doesn't turn on fully. It was actually sold as completely dead, no power, but when I found it out, I looked at it. I was like, who the hell does this belong to? It's not booked into the system. And I realised the reason it's not booked in is because it's one of mine, and I'd left it in my back room, not near the customer console, but I left it in my back room and not done anything with it. So I looked online, managed to find the listing based on the fact that there's a sticker on the bottom of it, and I looked and it said that it was no power. So I turned it on, plugged it in, or rather I plugged it in, turned it on. It turned on once, went to a long pulsing blue light of death, and then when I killed power, it wouldn't turn on again, which was rather strange. And now it's turning on and going to a white light. What? Huh? I got a feeling this is a faulty power supply. Actually, let's just try and see if it turns on. Yeah, I got a feeling it's a faulty power supply because it wouldn't turn back on the second time. Let's just leave that there. Let's just see if it gives out a HDMI display. No, I don't think it does. You probably don't give a damn about what I've got to say, but just hear me out for a minute, alright? We all know that those sweaty little douchebags with cheesy fingers, living in the mom's basement, drinking Red Bull and simping over TikTok losers are gonna break the console. And you and I both know that you're too cheap to buy off eBay, you're too impatient to wait for AliExpress, and you're just about smart enough to avoid Amazon completely. You can admit it, because I'm exactly the same. That's why I started my online store, consolefix.shop. I'll sell every part you'll need to fix the Xbox One, Series S, Series X, PS4, PS5 and Nintendo Switch consoles. So why not give me the money instead of some random dude on eBay? At least if I have it, you know it's not going to waste on some stupid thing like promoted eBay listings or food for the kids or something. If you give me your money instead, I promise I'll use it on useful things, like buying views on TikTok. So before you decide to go to one of the more popular sites and line the pockets of some fat cat loser, take a look at my online store. Check out the link in the video description or the top pinned comment and get 10% off any order over £25 during checkout. Alright, now you can go back to watching this douchebag on YouTube trying to fix something.
You can't say stuff like that in an advert, dude.
You're not my dad, dude. Don't tell me what to do.
That's what you think, Phil.
Wait, what? Mom? It might have crashed again. I shut it down. Alright, so let me just reset this power supply. Now it's turning on and working, really. Alright, well let's open it up and stuff. I'll open the power supply up and see what the deal is. Like, as in, inside the power supply. Well actually I'm going to plug it into the TV in a second, but I'm just going to take the screws out anyway, because either way I'm going to have to open it up. But it could be a faulty encoder. That's just suddenly decided now it wants to work enough to actually turn on. Because it's not displaying, like nothing's showing up on that at all. Let me just plug this in. Bear with me. Hello. What? I ain't changing it. You can stay upside down. No display. What? You don't think I'm actually going to change it, do you? No. No. Can stay upside down. Streaming from Oz. Oh dear. No, you know what it is? It's Andrew Henderson, right? His mom is so fat that when she stands outside my workshop, she pulls all the gravity towards her. So now I'm standing on the fucking ceiling. Anyway, I better get the right way back around because the blood will rush to my head. I want it to rush to this head because Andrew's mom's here. Right, yeah, so there's no display on this. Okay, that has actually crashed again. So that would explain that. So this might not actually turn on now. It has actually crashed. That's interesting. Yeah, so now it's not powering on at all. So that's what I wanted to replicate, because if I'd have just deemed this as working and sold it, it would have come back under warranty. So that's what I wanted to replicate, the fact that now it's not turning on. So it'll turn on after it's been powered off for quite a while. And then it'll get warm and it won't turn on. Or it'll crash and then won't turn back on. That's what I wanted to replicate. So it is definitely got an issue. Let's just have a look and see. Do we get 12 volts? Why is the speed on low? Yeah, so we've got 12 volts. That's what don't make much sense. So I don't think it's a power supply then. We've got 5 volts. We've got 3.3. We've got 5. We've got 3.3. We've got 5. Have we got 2? Yeah. We've got 2 volts. We're not going to get anything here because it's not powered on. Okay, I'm going to need to take the board out. This could be a tricky one, to be honest. Could the PSU be dying under load? No, because it's not attempting to turn on. Sorry, it's putting out 12 volts. Like, I'm getting 12 volts on it, so it wouldn't make any sense. Plus, I didn't put it under any load at all anyway. First of all, let me just have a look at that HDMI port. Because even when it's not turned on, we're not getting any. Sorry, even when it is turned on, we're not getting any display. I just want to have a nose at these pins. They're not the strongest. They are a little bit damaged. Yeah.
Dylan just resubscribed for 9 months.
Thank you, Dylan. Appreciate you, buddy. Yeah, so these traces are slightly damaged. They're a bit loose. So let's just have a look really quickly. Do I get a diode reading on these ports, on these pins? I'll tell you if I don't get a diode reading on one of them. It's probably really easier. The thing is, though, is it could be crashing before it's actually getting to the point of turning on the display. Right, that line's open, but that's normal. I know it's out of focus, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, we're getting everything there. Right, okay, so let me check my boot sequence. Let's see what happens. 276 milliamps. Interesting. Something might be getting warm at 276 milliamps. Something may be getting warm at that kind of current. Let me just have a look on my cheat sheet first of all. So I'll get 276 milliamps. So I've got a cheat sheet here, which is basically a spreadsheet document with some different current draws. 275, no. F7002, no. Very unlikely going to be any of that. 315 would be Wi-Fi. 225 will be SSD controller. Yeah, I doubt it's going to be any of that. Oh, it goes to 299 milliamps first, so that's definitely different. Interesting. Let me just grab my thermal camera. You ready? SSD controller, safe bridge. Okay, now it's attempting to turn on. Yeah, it's reset itself now. You son of a... Alright, well, now I've got the thermal camera plugged in, I can at least monitor things while it's on. Or at least I can monitor one side. So now it's going to attempt to turn on because I'm getting the boot sequence back. No, I don't need the Wi-Fi antennas. I am going to plug in the HDMI port though, or rather the HDMI tester, and see if it attempts to display. Even if it's just for a split second. See if I get anything on the display at all. Okay, so should start to see stuff light up. Yeah. Should fade back out. No. Huh. Right, well the SSD controller is staying warm. So is the safe bridge. Interesting. So it could be one of those two things. And I think it'd pretty much just be a guess. A smaller component on the right. That is a very, very focused heat spot on that safe bridge. That's not normal. That is incredibly focused, that heat spot is. Although that SSD controller gets pretty warm as well. But I don't think it's going to be the SSD controller, I'll be honest. Okay, now we're getting current draw. Sorry, now we're back down to 10 milliamps. That is very, very specific. And now it's back to normal again, back to 10 milliamps. I think this could be a bad safe bridge. I'll have a look around the back of the safe bridge, but looks like the FIFA virus probably. What are you? Well, I know what you are, but what are you next to you? Just flux. I don't like the look of these caps. They've took some heat, these have. I think. This entire chip has got pretty fucking warm. Because this is the back of the safe bridge, and that don't look great, does it? But it's like, it's all over. It's not just in one place. That safe bridge shouldn't stay warm for that long. And it shouldn't get hot in that specific... hang on a minute. Someone's been reflowing you, haven't they? You've been reflowed, haven't you? Oh, what have they done to you? Tell Daddy what they've done. What's someone done to you, poor safe bridge? What's someone done to you, poor safe bridge? Oh, the bad, bad man's hurt you. The bad, bad man's hurt you.
He's losing his mind.
He does have a boo-boo, doesn't he? Everything else looks pretty fine. At least I haven't messed around with the SSD controller. I think we should probably change the safe bridge first. Could there be a solder bridge? No. That BIOS has been replaced though. That's not factory solder there. YouTube qualified technicians, that's what they are. That is not factory solder, by the way. I don't think. It doesn't appear to be. It don't appear to be factory solder. That is not factory solder. This says we've just been replaced. Yeah. Look how shiny that solder is. If that was leaded, it wouldn't be that shiny. I'm sorry, if it wasn't lead, if it was lead-free solder, it wouldn't be that shiny. Sorry, that has been replaced, or at least reballed. Probably just reballed, to be honest. Because reballing fixes everything. Oh yeah, that is not lead-free solder. So that is not original at all. No way. I haven't replaced that solder, by the way. There was no extra solder on my iron. If that was lead-free solder, it wouldn't wick up that easily. It would not wick that easy if that was lead-free. There is another giveaway as well, and I'll show you in a second because no one's noticed. I noticed it. I was waiting to see if someone mentioned it, but no one's mentioned it. Is anyone else going to notice it before I mention it? Come on. Come on. You can pick up on it. You'll figure it out. Rip pads, no. I noticed it as soon as I put the board under the scope, but I was waiting to see if anyone said anything. Exposed grounds, no. Alright, I'll show you. That coil, nope. I'll show you. It wasn't me. Now can anyone see? No, not an acidic flux. Nothing wrong. Oh, but there is. There's two things wrong. Number one, there's a scratch mark right there. Well, it's not a scratch, but it's dried up flux that's been left there. And number two, missing solder on this pad, and the end caps are slightly oxidized. Wouldn't affect it. That's another reason I know that it's been messed with. It wouldn't come from factory like that, and that there is not factory. That solder there is not factory. Someone touched that up, so it looks like someone's taken the safe bridge off, and they've knocked these resistors by the look of it, and they haven't soldered this one back on as clean as this side. Stop nitpicking. Well, I'm just showing my showing what I noticed based on my observations. You got to look for things. You got to look for signs. I mean, that's not a sign of anything faulty, but it's also a sign of prior rework. Yeah, you got to nitpick. Yeah, that's absolutely right. I mean, this isn't going to make any difference in terms of the console working or anything like that, but it's just I noticed these things. Okay, so now I'm going to take a safe bridge off. That should be factory, and that's how it should look. For the record, without the flux, of course. Actually, this safe bridge has been reflowed, so it probably won't look like a factory chip, but yeah. So I'm going to use this one as a donor anyway, though. But no, you have to notice things. Like, if you don't, you're going to miss things and you're not going to be able to fault find as efficiently. It wouldn't be the end of the world if you didn't notice that, but it's just, to me, knowing what these look like, the hundreds I've worked on, you know, if not getting into the thousands now, you tend to get a feel for it. You tend to know what to look for in terms of signs. But it's just, to me, it's just signs that it's been reworked. Like someone's worked on it in this area. They've had hot air in the area. Yeah, that one's... So this one I reflowed the other day, so this one looks kind of similar to the other one. Okay, so that's what it should look like once it's dried. So the chip itself, that will wick away a lot easier. But that's what it should look like. It should look dull, because it's lead-free solar, and that's how it's meant to look from factory. Do you mark the board with their faults in your donor pile? No. To be honest, most of my donor boards, I've taken the main chips off and then resold them. I don't have that many donor boards left at the minute. Or at least none that I've got any worthwhile chips on. You know, I've got ones with like capacitors and stuff on, but all the worthwhile chips and stuff I've pretty much sold. I've bought some more today. I bought another 10 today. I bought 10 PS5 boards today and 20 Nintendo Switch boards. And yes, I will be attempting to fix them before I use them as donors. Because why not? Right. Don't know where my holder is for this, so rather than sitting hunting for it, I'm just going to crack on and do it. Fit the rest manual. Stop making my life difficult. I'll sort that one out afterwards. Annoying things. Hate them sometimes. You know what though? You know what the funny thing is? You know when I'm off camera? Perfect every time. Genuinely. If I'm just doing them, you know, when I'm resetting chips and stuff like that, perfect every single fucking time. Soon as I do it on camera, that's it. God damn it. Still one more popped out. Oh, it looks like it's doubled up with that one. That one's no good either. I don't ever recommend doing that, by the way. Is there a reason you work late at night? Yeah, because my son's autistic and he's difficult to... Well, it's difficult for just one of us to deal with him at once, so it's just better if I do most of my work at night. It's not that he's impossible to deal with, it's just that he's very clingy and he wants both of us at the same time, so yeah, I just work into the night because of that, mainly. Alright. What the hell is that crap on there? I'll wait for that to solidify. There we go, that'll do. That's got it. Done. Looks good to me. I'll drop down to 10% airflow on this. There we go. Right, I need to let that cool down. Okay, it's turning on now. Question is, will it boot up? And will it stay on as well? Okay, it's turning on, but it doesn't look like it's displaying still, to be honest. So the HDMI port looks okay as well. But we're getting no light on the data lines for the HDMI. I will try it on the cable. Right, upside down cam. Hello! Is it going to turn on? Nah. Oh. It's picking up. It's detecting it. Let me shut it down. Aussie cam, yeah. It's picking up, it's just a black screen. That looks like a much more evenly spread heat signature from that safe bridge. It's just gone into standby. Why is that gone into standby so soon? That's not right. Actually, it could be that the HDMI is not, the display is not on. I just want to see if anything shows up, if I can see it crash, like physically see it crash or anything like that. Right, let's change that HDMI encoder. I wonder if they both went at the same time. Alright. Whoops. Well, there goes the holder. AKA my screwdriver. Ha! Same as the last one, I'm going to use the same donor board for the encoder. Or rather, the same as the safe bridge, I'm going to use the same donor board for the encoder. If I get this if this don't work, I'll probably change the HDMI port. But then again, if it does work, I'll probably change the HDMI port anyway. Just because I don't trust the ports that are on there. Looks messed with. Ah, damn it, it wasn't even in focus. Sorry, guys. No, it's fine. Unless you meant the other one. In that case, yeah, because I've done work to it. I don't want to change the HDMI port just so I can know the fault. So if it works now with a new encoder, then I know the cause was the encoder. But if it don't work, then I'll change the encoder anyway. Change the HDMI port anyway. Aussie cam. Hi. Winner, winner. Boom. Let me just turn the camera the right way around. It's working in 4K. No FIFA. Internet works. Running on firmware 8.00. Not that much on here. We've got Wayward Strand, Sea of Stars, Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts 2, This War is Mine, This War of Mine, and Astro's Playroom. Well, it seems to be working absolutely fine. Obviously, this is going to need a full stress test. Time for this to get a new HDMI port. Okay, give that a little touch up and it'll be good to go. Ah, a little bit of plastic melted, typical. Typical. The worst fuck up I've done. It's a good question. Probably sending too much voltage because I forgot to change the bench supply and fried APUs. I've done that a couple of times. Not gonna lie, done that a couple of times. Probably won't be the last time I do it as well. Like injecting voltage and frying the APU, end up having to replace the board for the customer. Then there's the coffee. Or setting fire to my table while I was injecting voltage. I've done that as well. Like literally setting fire to my table. The lazy money grabbing clumsy technician. You know it. You know it. Right, let's just test these pins. Cool. All good. Alright, ready to play. Can't use the DualShock 4 to play PS5 games. No, but I can make sure the game loads up, can't I? Alright, well that seems to be working. Right. So yeah, I'll stress test that tomorrow. Running Astro's Playroom or something. I actually quite like that game. It's pretty entertaining. So yeah, I'll stress test it tomorrow. Off stream, but it seems to be working fine. It stayed on, so we should be good to go. That was an interesting one. That was a very interesting one. Right, there we go. One working PS5, and I believe I've got a buyer for it lined up. I've actually got a few buyers possibly lined up for it, so if one doesn't want it, I'm sure the other one will. Happy fucking days. I will take that all day.